Today I want to tell you a story that is kind of funny, but at the same time it was a remarkable day. Every last Saturday of the month since 1984, the Nigerian government decided to restrict movement in every corner of the federation and dedicate that Saturday to cleaning and sanitation, orderliness. I think there was a need for it, but it was really, really strictly adhered to. People were expected to stay in their homes, clean their surroundings. Usually people even swept their yard with a big broom that they called okopa. And nobody was expected to stay on the street or do their usual chores or market or whatever they were doing on Saturdays usually. So that day, no one would come out. And we lived on campus and no one was expected to come out of the campus on that day. And our church was quite far in town, probably more than 1 or 2 miles away. And that day I couldn't use the car for some reason. And so I forgot that it was sanitation day and I started on my journey. I walked on campus and nothing was out of the ordinary. I completely forgot. And so I continued walking happily until I crossed the gate of the university and started walking on the main street. And it's at that time that I started feeling uncomfortable. The street was completely empty. No car, no motorbike, no nothing. It was just empty, no one, which was completely out of the ordinary. And then suddenly it dawned on me that it was sanitation day, that I was not supposed to be out. And there were people that checked that we were obedient to the law. Nigeria has never laughed with the law, so I thought they're going to arrest me. But curiously, I had the strong feeling of being invisible, completely invisible. No one greeted me, which was that also out of the ordinary. Normally people greet you as you pass. It was like no one saw me. No one. And it was not just on a small portion of the road. As I continued, I also realized that there was a presence in front of me, about 2 meters or 3 meters in front of me. Somebody was walking at exactly the same pace with me, the same speed. So I couldn't come nearer or further. And that was a person, probably a bit taller than me, but I couldn't see any part of his body or clothes. It looked like a man, but he was also invisible, including to me. And so I started praying and said, God, I'm in a mess. I'm not supposed to be out, and now there is no way back. It's too late. I have to continue the journey. And I expected the church to expect me because we were working like a hospital, receiving patients, people that were sick or needy, with mental or physical illnesses that needed prayer, that used to come at random. And we were working in shifts, and that was supposed to be my shift that day. And I didn't think that they would not be expecting me since it was sanitation day. All I was thinking at the time was, "Ah, let me not be stopped." And I continued walking, invisible. No one made a move towards me. I didn't cross anyone. There were people in their yard. Nobody greeted me. That presence continued walking and accompanied me actually until I reached that church, probably about 1 hour later, and then fizzled out. And I greeted the people that were from our church that lived in that compound and said, because they were asking me, "How come you come? Don't you know that it's sanitation there?" I said, "I forgot." But there was that person in front of me all the way, and no one saw me. And they said, "Well, you know, it was the Spirit of God." And I said, "That's true." It was my first experience of that presence in an almost tangible way. So I stayed there, attended to people that managed to come later on at the end of the compulsory paralysis of movement. But I will never forget how God protected me that day, because people could have stopped me, maybe not arrest me, but they would have asked some questions. Thankfully, because I looked like a stranger, they might not have disturbed me, but still. So, you know, it can happen to anyone if you belong to God. He knows how to protect you. He's our good shepherd.